What's a farmer doing at an AI summit? I know that's what all of you are thinking. And I'm here to tell you that physical AI has incredible applications, but the biggest opportunity of all is in industrial markets. And agriculture alone is bigger than all the other markets that you've seen here today. So I'm going to talk about industrial physical AI. Don't forget about self-driving cars, but there's a whole nother world. And I grew up a farmer. I grew up a dairy farmer. And when I was 16, I started my own farming operation. And the pronunciation is Trattore Farms. Trattore means tractor in Italian, because I've been building, collecting, repairing tractors my entire life. And yes, some guys and gals collect sports cars. I collect tractors. So Trattore is one of the highest tech farming operations in the world. Because I have multiple engineering degrees, I accidentally got into high tech after my undergrad, which I went in for agriculture, and I accidentally took a computer course and went on to grad school down here in Silicon Valley. It was clear that I could do a lot of automation. And because I was in Silicon Valley, as well as in northern Sonoma County, where my farm is, about 2.5 hours away, I wanted to automate as much as possible so that I could actually operate my farm while I'm working for incredible folks like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs twice, Michael Dell, and others. And the one thing that I hadn't automated yet was the field work. And what happened over the last 10 years is that the revenues keep going up in farms, but the expenses have passed all revenue. And there isn't a farmer who will tell you the same thing. And if they say life is great, they're lying. So what I want to talk about is, the billions, I'll actually say the trillions by now, of money that's been invested in things like self-driving cars is wonderful. But now we can take that technology and apply it in worlds that really make a difference, that make a huge impact in our global society. When you think about self-driving cars, and by the way, I'm not here to diss self-driving cars. I love self-driving cars. I take Waymos and all the other good things. But those are really services of convenience. And when you look at these industrial markets, as I will talk today, these are not services of convenience that we're creating. We're applying physical AI for services of necessity. It's an existential threat, food scarcity, if you don't know that, and it's getting worse every day. So, the sexiness is in a lot of things that you've seen and always hear about, and generative AI is great, but the real world has been waiting. And a lot of people don't think about agriculture when they're studying computer science, or when they're developing LiDARs or other kinds of sensors. But it's not just agriculture, it's construction, it's warehouse logistics, it's all kinds of industrial, it's forestry. And the thing about these industries is that they need automation more than ever. And one of the main reasons is that nobody works in these industries. How many of you are farmers? How many of you know farmers? Oh, that's better. That's better. It's usually zero. Construction, the same thing. Construction companies are having to cancel or renege on 50% of their quotes because they can't get enough workers. The ag industry and these other industrial markets, the average age, for example, of a farmer in Japan is 70 years old. Average age, not median age. The average age of a farmer in the United States is just crossed over 60 years old. Nobody goes into it. I actually have 3 children. No one's taking over my farm, so if anybody wants to buy a winery and an olive company, come on up. I'm serious. So this is causing this huge, huge issue. But AI can do real work, and that's what I'm here to tell you. To be able to create robots that actually do real work to solve real human needs like food, the growing of food. And so I always talk about physical AI in the industrial markets because the need there is so much more important. And the opportunity for investors is so much bigger, as I'll talk about later. So I think we all know what physical AI is. In agriculture, it's still the embodiment of AI on a vehicle, right? We used to call it embodied AI or something like that. And then my friend Jensen from NVIDIA starts calling it physical AI, so we all jump on that, which is good. It's, I think, more descriptive. And so for physical AI in agriculture, it's about perceiving the environment, understanding what your situation is, having situational awareness, and being able to navigate precisely through crops, especially permanent crops, which are more valuable than your corn and your wheat and your soybean. Those are called row crops. And we haven't had technology until the last 5 years to really create autonomous ag vehicles in permanent crops. Right? If you actually hit a citrus tree, it's $4,000. You hit a grapevine, it's $1,200. You take out 100 stalk of corn, and it's a couple bucks. Right? So you're getting 1 inch within these plants. So you really have to have precision. But it's that situational awareness, and you cannot do teleoperation, right? Because growers, they need to do other things, right? There's not enough labor. So it really needs to be about more teleguidance. But here's the great thing in these industrial markets. If you have an issue and a cat runs out in front of you, to use Ein's example from earlier today, you can recognize a cat, and you can just stop. And you can send an alert through low Earth orbit satellite internet or cellular if you have cellular, but cellular doesn't work in agriculture, I just want to say that. And the grower can look at that, and they can be managing 20 tractors, it doesn't matter, and they can say, oh yeah, that's just a spider web, and just push through. And then you can automatically learn what that is and be able to do it better next time on its own. So physical AI in agriculture is really important. Teleoperation does not work in this industry, and you don't need it in this industry. That's the great thing. So a lot of people think of autonomy and physical AI in the world of autonomy as navigating from point A to point B. Let me make this clear. Growers don't give a rat's about navigating from point A to point B. What they care about is that the job you're doing, like spraying or mowing or weeding or disking or seeding or a myriad of other pre-harvest and post-harvest work and harvest work, that the job is done correctly. Because if you spray incorrectly, you will kill the entire crop. If you are mowing incorrectly, it just defeats the whole purpose when you need that ground cover crop to be done properly. Or if you're working in sod farms like you can see up here, which we also work in. And so it's not just about navigating, it's about navigating while you're doing real work. And it's more about a solution, an automation solution, where autonomy is part of it, but then feedback from the workload always has to be in there. A good example is mowing, where mowing, I always say this to my engineers, I say, remember when you were a kid and you used a push mower? And they say, what's a push mower? You know what I'm talking about. But it's like, a human. When they push a mower, if the grass is higher, it bogs down, so you slow down. That's what we have to do as well. We have to sense the workload and modulate things like RPM, speed, etc. But it can be done, and it is being done, is the point I'm making here. So it's not just about navigation, it's about doing the workload. So what's the opportunity? Agriculture is a small business, right? How many of you need to eat? Every single person, okay? Did you know that the entire automotive industry and the entire ride-sharing industry and the entire trucking industry together is less valuable than the agriculture industry? And the labor component of that alone is trillions of dollars. I say this thing about Agtonomy, we're a data last company. People go, oh my God, data is everything. It really isn't in this space. There is a lot of great data, and we collect a lot of data. And we inform getting the work done, but it's the get the work done service that is absolutely the most valuable part, right? When you have no labor, you can't get any work done. So, you're talking about numbers that are huge, and even the CAGR, even the growth rate in agriculture is still growing at about 7.4%, whereas the automotive industry is half of that. So it's a huge, 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 huge opportunity. And the equipment manufacturers are fantastic at this. So I'm standing up here and I want to tell you, Agtonomy does not build tractors. You heard that I started a farm called Trattore Farms, which means tractors. I'm the most passionate person about tractors you can ever meet. And there is nobody in the world who would want to start a tractor company more than me. But the farmer in me said that would be the stupidest damn thing in the world to do. Because I need trusted brands as a farmer. I need the dealer network and the parts and the service. I need to be able to call them at 2 in the morning to go down to the shop, open it up, give me parts. And I need their financing too. So they build these incredible machines, and they're smart, but they're not super smart. And so at Agtonomy, we designed the company to partner with them. And what these incredible companies like Kubota, which is probably #1, actually it's not probably, it's #1 in permanent crops, or Bobcat, which is another large global company that has selected Agtonomy technology. And by the way, there's a self-driving tractor out in front if you'd like to go visit it. And yes, it does use LiDAR, but LiDAR is now, under $1,000. So we just use it for safety. But what they bring is incredible design and manufacturing. They bring this amazing dealer network. And a lot of people don't know this, but I've been buying tractors my whole life, and I've put exactly $0 down on every vehicle I've purchased, and I've paid exactly 0% interest. And sometimes I get 84 months. A lot of people don't understand that. And these companies have their own banks, right? So whether it's Caterpillar or Kubota or Bobcat or John Deere, they have banks. And that's really important when you're talking about a multi-$100,000 or even $1 million piece of equipment. So now, if you take that expertise and you put it together with a company that only focuses on physical AI, does not have to worry about supply chain and manufacturing and distribution and financing and all that, you're talking about this 1 + 1 = 5 in an industry that's desperate and in an industry that is trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. And it's here today. It's not about humanoids in the future. There are autonomous vehicles operating in the fields in the United States, Australia, Europe, all over the world. And we're pleased to be partnering with these companies, doing all kinds of work in orchards, vineyards, you name it. Lots of mowing, lots of spraying, lots of disking, cultivation, all kinds of things. And it's not just about automation. There are some side benefits, which I'll be honest, I didn't know about until these customers started giving us feedback after several years of using this equipment and using them in fleets. I didn't realize that fuel savings was going to be part of the equation. We're agnostic to chassis type and propulsion system type. We've done electric, we've done diesel, you name it. But on the diesel side, they're saving between 20 and 30% in fuel. Why? Because the computers route things a lot more optimized routing. Every turn is perfect. The RPM is set perfectly for the job, for the implement. The implement is raised and lower at exactly the right time. So in the world where there isn't labor, we're hiring skilled labor when we can find it that isn't as talented as it used to be. But the computers are super talented about that. So you're doing fuel savings. It's safer for the workers that you are able to hire and you upskill them. So now they can operate in the comfort of their air-conditioned Ford F-150 as opposed to in 110 degrees of dirt and dust and all kinds of other fun stuff. You're also getting the job done better, as I just mentioned, whether it's mowing or spraying or whatnot. And here's one of the most important things that I did not realize. You're attracting a younger workforce. I don't know how many students I spoke to here today, but when I explained to them what's going on, they're like, oh, you mean I don't have to drive a tractor in the dirt and I can develop software for this and I can operate it, in the comfort of an office and whatnot? I said, yes. So, we create very simple mobile user experiences to be able to operate multiple vehicles. And as we all know, the era of AI is here, but it's not going to be impactful from the back seat of a car or from yet another chatbot. I contend it's about physical AI for the industrial markets. So with that, I just want to say, if you come to our booth, I'll be over there in a little bit. And for whoever asks a great question, I will give you not just a bottle of wine from Trattore Farms. This wine is autonomously farmed. So naturally, it tastes better. I always end by saying one thing. And the thing I will end with, and then we can do questions inside, because I know we're wrapping up. It's Farmville for real, folks. Come and play. Thank you.